NewsNation senior national correspondent Brian Entin got the exclusive interview with Todd Chrisley and joins us now. And Brian, in part one, Chrisley talked about food that's inedible and said someone from the prison asked his daughter for money in exchange for keeping her dad safe. We should say that's airing on our website, newsnationnow.com. What does tonight's interview bring?
Yeah, you know, it's interesting, Elizabeth. The federal prison would not let us in to do the interview there. We weren't able to see with our own eyes what the conditions are like in that prison in Pensacola, Florida. But Chrisley says they are inhumane. We're learning also more new today about his appeal that he hopes will actually get him out of prison.
We're the Chrisleys, Todd and Julie Chrisley. We live in a neighborhood north of Atlanta, a gated neighborhood with celebrities here.
Chrisley Knows Best was one of the most watched shows on cable TV for a decade.
This season on Chrisley Knows Best. Ta-da!
What are you doing?
But the family empire crumbled when Todd and Julie Chrisley were convicted of bank and tax fraud. And for the first time, Todd is speaking exclusively to NewsNation from behind bars, the conversation set up and run through his lawyer. Do you feel like you're being treated fairly by the guards and the prison staff?
No. There are recordings of staff members here talking about he needs to be humble. What we need to do is we need to put him in diesel therapy and put him in shackles and let him ride around the country for 4 months and then bring him back, and that will humble him. He thinks this is one of his mansions he's used to living in, but this is the okay. That's what's on the recording.
Chrisley is jailed at the federal prison camp in Pensacola. He was initially sentenced to 12 years, which was reduced to 10. Julie's sentence was reduced to 5 years. Todd says he wants to expose what is happening in the prison.
You've got rats, you've got squirrels in the storage facility where the food is. They just covered it up with plastic and tore the ceiling out because of all the black mold and found a dead cat in the ceiling that dropped down on the top of the food.
My gosh.
So they're not letting you in here because it's a breach of security or whatever. They don't want you in here where you can see what's really going on.
Todd and Julie's daughter, Savannah, says it is now her mission to improve prison conditions and also to prove her parents are innocent. And there was a victory for the family last month when oral arguments were granted in the couple's appeal. Do you feel like your family was treated unfairly, was made an example of?
That, yes. And I know that will cause a lot of ruffled feathers, because people look at us and are like, why should we feel bad for you? Look at the life you lived. You flaunted this, you flaunted that, whatever it may be. What a lot of people don't realize is there was 2 different cases. So there was a case in the Georgia Department of Revenue, and then there was a federal case. And at one point, they began working together, and within the Georgia Department of Revenue, there was a dartboard that they were using with Dad's face on it, and he was always a target. That's the thing, is they always wanted things to look how they wanted it to look.
The Chrisleys' attorney, Jay Surgent, says the financial documents used as the foundation of the case against the Chrisleys were obtained illegally from the Chrisleys' warehouse without a warrant.
Basically, fruits of the poisonous tree. It was illegally seized pursuant to no search warrant by the Revenue Service for Georgia out of those warehouses, and it was used against them at trial. The government just picked it up. The United States government just picked it up and used it against them at trial. I think that's pivotal.
The Chrisleys say that's reason enough for a new trial or for their convictions to be overturned.
I know that God has a greater purpose. I know he's got a greater plan. And I'm not going to let the federal government break my faith. They wanted to destroy our family. Tommy Krepp, the prosecutor, said that we were the southern version of the Trumps. I'm not going to have someone like him break my family. And that's what he wanted to do, but he's not been able to do that.
So in terms of life in that prison, Elizabeth, the Bureau of Prisons says the food is a priority. The mission is to provide healthy food, and that medical care there is also priority. But based on what Todd Chrisley is saying, there's a lot of other things going on inside that prison in Pensacola.
Yeah, dead
Elizabeth?
cats.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.